Hi, and welcome to the Happiness Coach podcast. My name is Lori Brandt, and I am the Happiness Coach. I believe our natural state is peace and calm, and the only thing keeping us from living life from that centered space are our limiting beliefs. It's my understanding that thoughts like, I'm not worthy, I'm not safe, or I'm not enough can be eliminated. Once revealed and questioned, they begin to lose their hold so that our natural state of greatness can rise up and into our present day experience. On this podcast, you'll listen in on real life coaching calls, interviews with leading experts, and open discussions exploring limiting beliefs and their transformation. If after listening you found it interesting or helpful, please follow and share. If it inspired you to consider becoming a life coach yourself, visit my website for upcoming ICF-approved life coach certification training dates at www.loribrandt.com. All right, let's jump in and get started. I had worked with this client for 8 sessions over a 2-month period. At the beginning, she shared how her anxiety, physical pain, and fatigue kept her from taking care of herself financially. We had uncovered over the 8 weeks some limiting beliefs, like I need to be taken care of, I should be taken care of, what I want doesn't matter because I'm a woman, I need to treat myself, I need to spend my money right away, there is never enough money, I don't need to work, I'm too tired to work, other people will support me, I'm not worthy. Through the coaching process, it was revealed that when she was a child, her father expected her mother to do all the chores, and my client was expected not to help her. It was very explicit. If she helped her mother, that would be an indication that she was being disloyal to her father, and he would get upset. She also explained that if she did what he said and didn't do any chores, he would shower attention and love on her, making her feel deserving, like she was a princess. The limiting belief that was fueling her inability to be financially independent was the limiting belief, I should not work. Over the 8 weeks, we worked on mindset, personal self-care, and developed specific actions to support her financial independence. By challenging her limiting beliefs, she was able to open up to alternate perceptions that supported her expansion and growth, like I don't need to be taken care of, and I'm better off not being taken care of. During this call, the client explained and expressed her desire to create a plan for her long-term goal of moving to Scotland or Ireland. It may all seem really simple, but it was amazing to listen in on her openness, strength, and fearlessness to move forward. In 8 weeks, this client has transformed how she chooses to live her life and is embracing her new belief that she absolutely can take care of herself. Good morning. It's so
Good
great
morning.
to chat with you again. It's been a while. And I'm just wondering, because this is a follow-up session, maybe are you open to sharing maybe what brought you to coaching in the first place?
Sure. So, my mom met you at one of your workshops, I think, and she knew that I was going through some difficult times. And so she bought me a package of 8 sessions with you.
And so what were you hoping to get out of coaching originally?
Well, I had been in a really stuck place for a long time and just unable to get out of it on my own. And so I was hoping for some assistance with getting out of a hole, a pit.
Okay. And so after working together, we got to a pretty good place, if I recall. The last time we met, we talked about the belief that you couldn't do it on your own. And you totally were owning that, and that, yeah, you can do it on your own. And you got clear on what you needed, you got clear on what your body was needing. You were open to doing research, to doing things differently, and taking action to support you and your choices. And I think we talked a little bit about being financially independent as well. Do you recall that?
Yeah. Well, I remember the financial independence thing was kind of the main thing that we worked on in all 8 sessions. So, yeah, that's like the main thing that changed in my life, I think. But
Okay,
it
so
has definitely caused some other big changes that have happened since we met.
okay, so are you open to filling me in?
Yeah, so we sort of spoke about this a little bit in our last session, but I have decided that I'm breaking up with my boyfriend. So I have been in the process of doing that. I'm looking for a place to move to. So that's the big change.
This is something not that we discussed when we were together, but you were starting to move towards identifying what you needed to do for you. Is
Right.
this where this decision came from?
Yeah, I think it was like because we were looking together at the things that I was accepting that I didn't actually like, that I didn't want in my life, but I was accepting these things in my relationship. Um, and as things changed, so like I started working, sort of thanks to you, and um, our relationship just hasn't survived that change is what happened because we were going to do like once I start working because okay, so let me go back. So the agreement that we had before was that he would pay for things and I would do the housework and the cooking and cleaning and everything. And then once I started working, there was always the understanding that the home work would also even out. And so that's what I was expecting, and that's what we were working towards. And then he just wasn't into it. And we've talked about it a lot, and he is just completely unwilling to do any housework. And he is completely uninterested in learning how to do it. And he's fine with paying for somebody to do it. But what I'm realizing is that I really want somebody who shares my values. I want to be with somebody who shares my value of like caring for the home and also shares my value for feminism and like working on having equality in the house and in the relationship. And so yeah, I made this decision. I really we talked a lot about it. I tried my best to be open to things changing, but he's not open to changing. And so, yeah, I made the decision to end it.
Okay, so you made the decision. Have you done anything to move towards that, like following through with that, or where do you stand with that decision?
Well, for the last couple weeks, I've been looking for a place to move to, but I haven't had luck yet. I've been like, my goal is to move out by September 1st. So, um, that's about all I've done.
Okay. And so for today, what would you like to, work on with me? What is the biggest Bluckerberry that I can help you with?
Okay. So I've also been so there's that I want to move out September 1st. Um but as a more long-term goal that I've been envisioning, I want to leave Montreal. So we talked about this too that
Hmm.
that I don't like it here, but I've just sort of ended up here. And I want to leave and um for the longest time, I couldn't remember or I couldn't think of where I want to go. Like I was thinking BC, Ontario, maybe, but nothing was really feeling right. I knew that I didn't like it here, but I didn't know where I would go instead. And then I was like, okay, where do I really want to go? And the answer is Scotland. I want to go to Scotland or Ireland. And so that is my new goal. I want to save money to get myself and my cats to Scotland.
what I'm hearing is this is a long-term goal.
Yeah.
So in the interim, you're still looking for a place locally to move. Is that what
Yeah,
I'm hearing?
that's right.
Okay. And are you looking locally in Montreal for that?
I am.
Okay. So the part that you'd like to work with me on today, though, is creating a savings plan to get to Scotland. Is that
Yeah, or just creating a plan in general. Like, I've looked into a little bit of like what kinds of visas are options and like what it would be like to move my cats and everything. But so yeah, just organizing all of that.
so? What part of organizing all that are you looking for me to help
I
you
don't
with?
really know.
Okay. So when you think of the idea of creating a plan and organizing yourself to go to Scotland, what part of that kind
Imagining
of
that there are
stresses
things
you
I
out?
don't know that I need to know, and I don't know how to know them.
Okay, so you're looking to anticipate any bumps along the road to this long term goal. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So if you think of moving to Scotland, I'm hearing a few things that need to be met. So there is a financial need.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you aware of any? Are you looking to move there permanently? Are you looking to move there part
Um,
time?
I don't know. I kind of want to leave that option open. I think right now, I think it wouldn't be permanent. I think that I would come back to Canada, but I also just want to leave my options open in case I do want to stay.
Okay, so the you're looking for a travel visa then,
Well, a work visa because I would need
a
to
work
work
visa.
while I study because I'm starting my master's in January, but it's an online course, so I can take that from anywhere.
Right.
But I want to work, continue to work as a massage therapist wherever I go. And I did find out that in Scotland, the massage requirements are actually less than in Quebec, so I would be able to work as a massage therapist there.
Okay, perfect. So your financial goal to moving long term would, what are the things you're thinking of with respect to what you need the money for? So I imagine the plane ticket.
Um, yeah, the plane ticket for the cats too. Um, moving any stuff, moving the cats. I don't know.
So what
Um,
stuff, when you say stuff, moving stuff, what is that? Like what things do you feel you're going to be bringing with you?
yeah, I have gotten a little bit stuck with that because I have all this furniture that I really like, but I think that it's probably not worth it to bring it. But I worry, like, what would I do with it? I don't really want to part with it. I don't know what to do about
Okay,
that.
so what I'm hearing is that part of this plan is you want to have a plan for your furniture too. Is that what
Hmm.
I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Anything else when you say stuff?
No, just clothes, regular stuff like that.
Okay, and do you have like a car
No.
or anything like that? Okay. And when you're thinking of the financial, are you considering having money up front for first and last or accommodations when you're there?
Yeah, I will need that too.
Okay, and so you would need part of this plan then would to have a ballpark as to what that would be.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I did
and
look up.
so
Oh, sorry.
no,
Well,
go
I
ahead.
did see it one place that, like, for one of the visas, in order to get approved, you have to have at least $1,500 in your savings account for at least 6 months before applying. So there's
Okay,
that.
good, good, good. Okay, and so I want you to kind of maybe, if it helps, close your eyes. And I
Hmm.
want you to imagine you get off the plane, you got your luggage, you got your gas, you've got your place where you're going to be staying, and the first and last is paid. And what else are you thinking you might need some money right up front to do?
For food
Hmm.
and for, bus pass, if that is a necessary thing.
Hmm.
Um, Clothes, if I need clothes that I didn't realize I needed.
Hmm.
Um, And I guess if
I
I'm not
heard you.
bringing my furniture, or I don't know, maybe I would get a furnished place, or I don't know.
Okay, so part of this plan might be to explore furnished versus unfurnished accommodations.
Hmm.
And when you think of going over there and getting a job, is it your intention to have a job before you go over, or is it to find the job when you're there?
Well, I think you do, if you're doing a worker's visa, you do need to have a job. You have to have your boss like sponsor you or something. But there's another visa that would be an option for me, which is like um, a British ancestry visa, I think it's called. And I think for that one, I wouldn't need a sponsor, but I would still be able to work. So,
Okay, and if you were getting off the plane, how much time do you think that you are going to need money to sustain you until you start receiving a check or
hmm.
money for your services there?
Well, I would like to receive my first paycheck within like 2 weeks of arriving.
The first check you hope to receive 2 weeks upon arrival.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a cushion just in case, let's say, that you went over um, on the alternate visa that doesn't that where you don't have a job up
Hmm.
front? Think
Yeah, I mean, that would be great to have like a month cushion.
okay, so when you think of a month cushion, how much would that be, do you think?
2000?
If we just looked at the financial so far, I'm just wondering, well, I'll go over it and just see if anything jumps out at you. Um, Plane ticket, and we think that's going to be about, do you know how
I
much
don't. I
or?
haven't looked at that.
Okay. Anything that you do know approximately how much it's going to cost, just let me know.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll just list it as part of the plan to find out. Plane ticket for the cats, moving furniture, if that is something you're going to do, or where to put it if you don't. First and last month's rent, $1,500 in savings for visa, and food, bus pass, any clothes, any furniture if you get there and you need that, a cushion of 2000.
Yeah. And
Okay.
probably 1500 in savings.
And I'm just wondering, like you had talked about doing massage, so are you going to need to buy a massage table, or are you bring that with you, or
No,
that's something to consider?
I would just work for somebody else.
Okay. And any other supplies with respect to your massage that you would be bringing, or you need
Mm,
to buy?
it wouldn't be a requirement if I choose to work for somebody else, but yeah, I mean, just in a suitcase, I would probably bring a few things just for like self care and stuff like that.
Okay. And when you think of moving there, is there going to be any healthcare costs? Are you aware? Is
I'm
that
not
something you
aware.
want?
Um, I think that it gets covered if you have a visa, but I should look into that.
Okay, healthcare, and maybe purchasing healthcare. Okay. Any other expenses or things that you feel you might need once you arrive?
Mm. Oh, I guess, yeah, cat supplies because I wouldn't be bringing the cat supplies.
Okay, good. And I don't know about you, but I think every time you move, it's like there seems to be like little incidentals. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I need that. I need that.
Yeah.
So if we just put miscellaneous, how much do you think?
Uh, I don't know, say 500 miscellaneous.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go over it again and just see how this feels. If you had a plan just for the financial piece, for the plane ticket for yourself, plane ticket for the cats, moving your furniture or putting it somewhere, storage or whatever. First and last month's rent, $1,500 for the visa, food for when you arrive, bus pass, clothes if needed, uh, furniture if you need it, and a $2,000 cushion and $1,500 in savings. So, what do you mean by cushion compared to savings?
Oh.
Are they different to you?
Well, the 1500 is just what they require you to have in your savings account.
Okay. Oh, right.
Um, yeah.
So that could be the cushion. That could be the same thing then.
Yeah, it could. But I think the key there is that I need to have it for 6 months in my savings account before I apply for the visa.
And when, if you want to go by, I think you said September, right?
Uh,
In a year?
oh, I didn't say. I'm sort of leaving it open. I really don't know how soon I could. Because I can start my master's here, it's online, and I can just take off a month whenever I need to move. So, sort of like whenever I get the money, then I can go.
If you could, in a perfect world, when would you like to go?
Well, in a perfect world, I'd like to go in December. Actually, that's not true. I keep thinking that I want to go in December, but then I remember that I have access to some really good like PTSD support here, like healing PTSD. It's something that I'm going to be starting probably in January, and it's free. And so I do want to stay for that. And so I guess my ideal would be to leave next year, like maybe the summer.
The key here, I think, is that you need to have $1,500 saved 6 months
Yeah,
prior
yeah,
to you leaving so that you can apply, right? So
yeah,
that basically would be, if we back up 6 months, say from summer, that might be the end of this year. So that leaves you 4 months to save $1,500.
right.
Does that feel attainable or realistic for you?
I think so.
$400, 370 actually. So a month. Is that again? Does that seem reasonable and
That
doable for you?
is, it is. Although there's also credit card debt, and I don't know if they would require that to be at zero or if I could have the 1500 in savings and also have the credit card debt because that's about. I mean, it's always kind of staying around 1,000. I have 1,000 of credit card debt.
It appears that the big things in your very immediate future is to confirm the financial obligations for a successful visa. Um, and part of it is the $1,500, but the clarity needs to be about credit card debt.
Yeah,
Is that what I heard?
yeah,
Yeah. Would you be willing to make that as a primary action step for next
right.
week?
That makes sense. So to contact a visa thing, who is that I need to see? Is it the embassy or do you know?
I'm not 100%, but I know that you're pretty good with researching. So, what potentially do you think you could research to find that out?
Yeah, yeah, I think maybe I'll go to the embassy and ask. I've done a
To
lot of
physically
online,
go
yeah, I've done a lot of online reading. It's sort of confusing. I think I'm just gonna go there and ask somebody.
and confirm the financial
Hmm.
requirements. Okay, perfect. And we just talked about the financial piece, part of the plan that needs to be covered in order to move to Scotland. Would you like to also discuss anything else that might be relevant to making that big move?
Well, yeah, it really is just the money part and the organizing all the government stuff. And so I think maybe the going to the embassy to ask them would be an important first step there, and then the money thing is the other big thing.
Okay. And I'm just curious, have you considered uh, the what needs to happen here in your home country if you're leaving?
Mm-mm. No, I haven't thought about that.
Wanting to discuss that, or would you
Sure.
just like to focus in on the
Yeah,
financial?
I don't know
Okay.
anything
So,
about what would need to happen.
yeah, well, let's just think about this. So, if you're in your apartment, we talked a little bit about dealing with your furniture,
Hmm.
and if you're owning your or renting a place here, you would need to give your notice.
Yeah.
And would you need to cancel any utilities possibly or anything like that?
Well, um, I'm hoping to move into a place with roommates. So I don't think that I would be signing a lease. I wouldn't be in charge of the utilities. So I think if I leave from a situation like that, there wouldn't be anything like that I would need to handle.
Okay, but potentially that could be something that you're looking for when you're actually looking for a place then here
Yeah.
in the interim is to make sure you're not locked down. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be signing a lease.
And what about your phone?
Oh, yeah. I would need to figure that out.
Okay. And what about mail? Any kind
Oh,
of
yeah. Okay, I'll write all this down.
so far we have uh figure out the furniture and your belongings. Either you're going to take them with you or find storage and the price of that.
Mm-hmm.
Give notice and deal with your phone, mail, and not get involved in a
Yeah.
lease when you move. And okay, so here you are, you're in Montreal in your in your shared space and you're getting ready to go. You have ended your lease, you know utilities, your phone has been switched over. Can you think of anything else that might come up?
Hmm. Like this is the point where I am leaving soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I think I would probably be pretty nervous. There's that.
Would you need to make sure that you have your any relevant documents either
uh,
with you or scanned? Like I'm not sure, like maybe your massage therapy certificate or anything
oh,
like
good
that.
idea. Yeah.
And I'm thinking like passport. And can you think of anything else you might need if you were?
Yeah, all my documents. I could scan all of those and also make sure I have the hard copies with me.
Have you considered where you will put your important documents or anything important that's left here?
Yeah, I think that I would, if I need to put anything into storage, I think that I would bring that down to Niagara Falls, and my mom has storage space.
So just before you leave, are you going to need transportation to the airport?
I can rent a
Any
car.
money for that
I can rent a car for that, or yeah.
when you get there? But what about getting to the airport?
Oh, no, I mean for that too. Like, well, or I
Oh,
was
okay,
thinking that, I can like drive down the furniture or anything that I'm storing to Niagara Falls and then fly out of Toronto because probably flights are cheaper from
okay,
Toronto anyway. And so actually, mom could probably just drive me to the airport then.
okay, perfect. So no extra funds needed
Yeah.
there. All right, and the only other thing I'm thinking of is relevant to your health coverage here. Are you aware of the implications of moving out of the country or anything like that, or do you feel that's something
I should look
you
into
want to
that. Yeah.
learn about?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's socialized medicine there too, though, so I think it'll be okay. But yeah, I'll look into it.
How does that feel so far as a temporary intern plan?
Yeah, it seems good. It feels good to have finally
All
written
right.
it down because all of this has just kind of been in my head. But it's good to write it down.
Okay, if we took a look at timeline wise, we were discussing how this upcoming week you're going to actually go to the embassy and confirm the financial
Yeah.
requirements and also how that relates to debt. And we also looked into saving $370 a month
Mm-hmm.
starting September. Is that something you're willing to commit
Yeah.
to? Perfect. Is there anything else you feel that you could jump on and get started with respect to moving forward to the long term goal of moving to Scotland or Ireland?
I mean, continue looking for a place to move to in September that has cheap rent so I can save easier. But I already
Okay,
have
and I'm
that.
just curious, what is the idea of moving to Ireland or
Mm-hmm.
Scotland? what is it you're hoping to feel?
Well, I'm hoping to feel like I've made a decision for myself. Like going to a place where I have decided, like I'm making this choice for my life rather than ending up in a place, because I feel like I've always just ended up in places that either my parents or one time a friend sort of like brought me to. And that's all because of this like feeling that I can't handle things on my own, that I need to be dependent. And so I've always just like relied on the people around me to bring me to where I end up. And I really want to just make a decision for myself and get myself there and do it for myself. And I want to go to Scotland because I want to connect with that land where my ancestors come from. And I want to see what it feels like to be at the ocean's edge there. And I want to see what it feels like to be in the forest there, you know? And yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
amazing. So great. Okay. Moving forward, then, do you feel that you got what you were hoping to get out of the session today?
Yeah. I mean, yes, I do. I think that I still have unanswered questions, but I think that that's for the embassy to answer. So that's clearer now.
Okay. Do you want to just bounce them off me, just so see if there are other questions, maybe
Okay.
also?
Well, I want to ask them about the credit card debt. I want to ask, like, how to apply for the visa, like, and what is the timeline for applying for the visa? Like, when should I apply? If they have any, like, information packets. I don't know. Because I just feel like with this, I don't know the questions to ask. Like, that's the big problem because I've just never done this before.
Okay. So what if we write that down?
Yeah.
What questions should somebody ask if they were wanting to get a visa?
Okay.
And you also mentioned documents. Would that be something you might want to inquire about?
You mean like passports and stuff?
Maybe applying to the visa, but also maybe documents that would be relevant or that you would need when you're there.
Well, I think I would just bring whatever documents I have, like my birth certificate and everything, right?
Yeah, or I was thinking perhaps international driver's license. Like, is that required?
Oh, I didn't know that that's a thing that exists. Okay, I'll write that down.
And so underneath that, I mean, that's just something I'm aware of, but maybe that might be a question, do you think, to ask? Is there any other documents that I may
Mhm.
need, let's say, to rent an apartment or to
Mhm.
that might be culturally different than it is here?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. And I'm just curious,
Okay.
do you know anybody who has done something like this?
No.
Okay. Would you be interested in talking to somebody who did something like this?
Maybe. Yeah.
And is it something to consider as exploring how you might get in touch with somebody who's doing what you're doing?
Mhm. That's a good idea. Yeah, I wonder how.
So,
Yeah, I don't know how I would find somebody to talk to
okay,
about
so
that.
let's think about that. Where might people gather who move abroad?
Well, I think I would want to talk to somebody who moved from Canada to the UK, right?
Okay. And
So
where do you think those people gather?
maybe like online forums for
Hmm.
expats. I don't know if those exist.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
Anything else come up for you or
I think that's my only idea. I think I'll look that up.
any other considerations for other social media outlets or anything like that?
I try to avoid social media. I don't use it
Okay.
very much.
All right. So you're going to move abroad, and the basically, it sounds like the only anxiety that I'm hearing is doing this and then missing something really important. Is that what I'm?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And with anything, can you absolutely know for absolute certainty that you know everything at any point? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
In your experience in the past, when you've had to do something out of your comfort zone and you didn't have all the answers, how did you move through that then?
I guess asked the people who would know. Like, I'm thinking of when I went to university, when I was applying for university. That was a decision I made for myself. That's the only other big decision I think I've made for myself. And I just talked to my teachers and I talked to the people at the school who were helping me with the application process. I asked questions. So I think, yeah, maybe going to the embassy and looking for an online forum for people to chat with, those would maybe be some important resources.
I'm wondering, is that another question to ask the embassy? Is there a resource that they're
Yeah.
aware of
Yeah.
for people doing the
Yeah.
exact same thing you're doing? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. All
Uh-huh.
right. Well, how does that feel now? A little better?
Yeah. Yes.
Good. All right. So, do you want to read back to me what you're planning on doing next week?
Well, I'm planning on going to the embassy to ask them these questions, but specifically about the credit card debt and, the $1,500 in savings and like how to apply and when to apply and everything. And in September, for my budget in September, I'm going to factor in that I'm saving $400 per month.
Okay. Research the online forum.
And research the online forum.
Perfect.
I'm looking at my notes and yeah, and continue looking for a place in September to move.
And how committed do you feel with following through with those actions next week?
I feel 100%
committed. You go, girl. That's awesome. Okay. Well, it's always a pleasure spending time with you, and I wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll connect in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
After our call, she sent me an email, and I just want to share that with you. My anxiety really had me in a hole, and making that one huge shift of taking care of myself financially really made me feel like I am more capable than I thought I was. My decision to end my relationship and take hold of my life to do something drastic and wonderful for me is what is coming out of that shift. I'm sad about losing the relationship, but I know it's the right decision. By working with the client toward her goal while simultaneously helping to transform the limiting beliefs that were blocking her, she was able to move forward and make long-lasting changes. You've been listening to Lori Brandt, the Happiness Coach. If you enjoyed the program, please go to iTunes and follow, rate, or leave a comment. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, life coach certification, go to my website, loribrandt.com, or perhaps even attending our Unleash Your Greatness conference so greatness can reflect back in beautiful Ridgeway, Ontario at the Buffalo Canoe Club on the shores of Lake Erie. You can learn more at www.unleashmygreatness.com.